No.
So, who here has been 15 and in love? Yeah? Okay. The story is mainly for that. Okay. When I was 15, I was in Costa Rica for a program called Amigos de las Americas, where I served as a volunteer in a small little village. I was serving with one other volunteer named Abigail. She was 17, very tall and blonde and pretty, while I was still pretty short, had very short hair and turquoise braces and a lot of pimples. It was, an uneven balance. This program had 3 rules. No drugs, no alcohol, and definitely no boyfriends. We'll see about that. So, I remember back to this one day where we were sitting in a local bar in our town. It was about 6 p.m., pretty dark, the stars were out, it was a beautiful night. So while Abigail and her cousin Chamuga, I don't remember his real name, but we always called him Chamuga. That was his tag name also, on all the school buses. And I sat there, sort of awkwardly, with Alejandro, who was my host cousin. And all we really talked about was the weather. And that was about it. So, after dinner, the boys invited us to walk a little bit so that we could walk Abigail home and then me home. She lived at the top of the mountain, I lived at the bottom of the mountain. So it was going to be a very long walk. So we started out. The boys in front, the girls in back. The boys were chatting away, using lots of curse words in Spanish that I did understand because those are the only words I really knew. But as Abigail and I walked, she started out, Jill, guess what? I'm like, yeah? He likes you. I'm like, who? Chamuga? Ew, he's totally for you. And she's like, no, Alejandro. I'm like, what? No. Well, his ears are just too big. But then I started to think, or were they? They framed his face very nicely. He was quite guapo. He always had a nice smile. Even though he was kind of quiet and all I really knew in English was how to say hello. Same with me. So I thought about it. And she's like, Jill, are you in there? I'm like, I had to reply, oh, of course, but nothing's going to happen. So we continued up the mountain. We got up to Abigail's house. We said our goodbyes, our kisses, our hugs, ciao. And then I walked down the hill with the 2 other boys. I waited for them to get a little bit ahead, and I just kind of walked there, looking at the stars, thinking about my new developing crush. But to be fair, most 15-year-olds can get a crush pretty easily. I think that goes for most people. Crushes. Anyways, they kept walking, and we're talking pretty loudly at first. Tú debes besarla. I'm like, what? What did he just say? He wants to kiss me? I'm like, oh gosh, I have to get closer. But I kept my distance. No puedo, Alejandro replied. No. And I'm like, dang it, yes you can kiss me, you can do it. And Shimi was like, sí, debes que besarla, te le gusta a ella, ¿no? And then I'm like, I ran up a little bit more. Jill? Hola? No. Oh, crap. I got discovered. And they're like, pero no entiendes, no? I'm like, of course I understand. A boy likes me. A boy wants to kiss me. But I wasn't going to tell them that. So I just said, claro que no. Solo estaba mirando las estrellas. El cielo es bien bonito. Yeah. So we kept walking. Another 15 minutes. Finally, we get to the restaurant. Chamuga decides to stay behind and sends Alejandro with me, who's shuffling his feet like this. I'm like, is he gonna walk with me? Is he not gonna walk with me? I waited at least 5 minutes while I walked down the hill like a tortoise, like this, keeping my gaze over my shoulder. And he finally started sprinting towards me. I'm like, okay, phew. I waited. And as we walked to my house, our hands kept touching. I kept hearing his breathing. The frogs were chirping away or ribbiting. I was getting so excited. I might get a kiss tonight. But as we kept getting closer, I'm like, when is he gonna do it? Come on, dude. Come on. And then I gave up. All right. So we kept walking, which felt like another 15 miles until we reached the house. We were both staring straight at the wall. 9 en punto, he said. I'm like, yep, 9 on the dot. All right. And as I started stepping in, I felt this head just go swoosh, kiss me straight on the lips, and sprint the opposite direction. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. But it's 9 o'clock, which means my host mom has been asleep for 4 hours. So I can't wake her up. I don't know what to do. I don't have a cell phone. I don't think I had a cell phone. Anyways, so what I did is I sprinted, or quickly tiptoed to my room, trying not to wake anybody up. And I took out a piece of paper, I took out a pen, and I sat under my mosquito net and wrote and wrote and wrote. At least 5 pages of every single detail, down to what I was wearing, what he was wearing, what shoes he was wearing. Oh my gosh, this was so exciting. And finally, I folded it up into a little teeny square, and put another envelope, and put in another envelope. And then on the second envelope I wrote, "Do not open, for Rachel's eyes only. Put under mattress forever." Like, phew, my secret is safe. It will be under a mattress soon. And I put it in my backpack for it to be sent. I finally fell asleep after, 3 hours of thinking of every single situation that could possibly happen in the morning. And I fell asleep with this secret love. And about 3 years later, I walk into my friend Rachel's house, who's sitting right there. And she picks up the mattress, and she's like, "Hey, you want to see something cool?" I'm like, "What do you have under there?" She takes out this creased envelope, and she's like, "You want to open it?" I'm like, "Oh my gosh." So we open it and read it. I'm like, I have to share this story. And that's what I'm doing with you guys, so thank you.